Hi y'all, Mike Peace. Welcome to my shop. I want to answer a question that comes up from time to time, and that's how high should the tool rest be? And I'm going to cover that now because I enjoy sharing tips, tricks, techniques, and projects to help you become a better wood turner. This shout out goes to Martin Williamson for suggesting this topic. I appreciate that, Martin. And any of y'all, if y'all got a question or topic you think suitable for a video, please leave it in the comments below. Okay. Some of the variables, it's an easy answer. I'll jump to the bottom line. You want to set the tool rest, so normally it will put the cutting tip right on center. Now the problem is that varies with how tall you are, how tall the lathe is, and what tool you're using. So let's look at it specifically as we walk through some of the different tools and see what some of the settings might look like. Okay, here's an example where the tool rest is exactly on center. Even though the cutting height of the tool is going to change, taking a peeling cut to round off your blank, it's obviously cutting above center, but that's the best place to hit it. And then as you come down, it's arching into the center, so that tool height winds up tool rest height winds up being real good. Now here's an example where you're going to cut. You're going to set the tool rest above the cutting center, and that's when you're taking a planing cut with a skew, where you're skimming along the top. This cut just does a lot better when you're cutting near the top of closer to the top of the piece. Sometimes you're going to set your tool rest at one particular height, even though your cutting point may change, and here's an example of that. If you're using a skew to cut V-cuts, normally you're going to start cutting a little bit higher than center, but you're going to arc the tool into the center. So one tool rest height is going to handle that entire cut. Here's an example of that in this diagram. Let me demonstrate. We're going to start high with a handle low. Then we're going to arc into it, come to the side. So it's going to start high, but then it's going to move in toward the center. And so as it gets further and further into the center, it's going to get closer and closer to the center of the piece. All right, now let's look at the tool rest height with a parting tool. Normally with a parting tool, you want to make that initial cut straight in, because if you don't, sometimes you get frayed sides. Then you're going to drop the handle for a peeling cut. Well, you can see here at the height I had the tool rest from using the skew that it would be too high. Number one, it's too high to come straight into to cut on center because of the size of the center compared to the width of the tool, and certainly it would be too high to take a peeling cut up here. So I'd have to adjust it down a little bit. Now we can cut a little closer on center, and then when we adjust it and take the peeling cut to arc into the center, it's going to be at a better height. Now we're going to come in and take that peeling cut. And it's going to arc into the center very similar to the skew. But part of the problem is the tool is a whole lot wider than where the cutting point is on the skew. The cutting point on the skew is right where it touches the height of the tool rest, or right there on the tip, whereas this one is set up higher. Now, on the thin parting tool, I've actually cut the tip off to place the cutting edge a little bit higher, more in line with the tools that I'm going to be using. So, for example, if I'm cutting cutting bead with a 3/8 inch tool, and you can see the height of that cutting tip about halfway up. Well, by cutting the front at an angle like this, you raise that height, so it's going to be more in line with whatever tool you're going to be using, and it will reduce the need to make it an adjustment for using that parting tool. Let's face it, most of us are hobbyists, and we're not going to be at the lathe 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or more like a production turner. But if you were, it magnifies the importance of, the importance of good ergonomics and cutting at the right height. Let me show you. Let me give you an example. If the tool rest is too high on the cut, you're going to have to start lifting up on your shoulders, and you're going to start hunching a little bit. Maybe even start coming up on your toes. But it's not going to be a comfortable situation. You're going to put yourself in stress to make that cut happen at the right height. But if the tool is at a more appropriate height, and again, this depends on the size of the lathe and the size of the work pieces I'll show you in a minute, and how tall you are. Once it's lower, then you can be more comfortable by having your forearm drop down at an appropriate height with a very relaxed shoulder as you work on those beads. And being relaxed and comfortable is very important. Now I said height. All right, we've got this. Let's swap this piece out for something a little larger. I hope you can see from this picture that taking that planing cut with a skew with a tool rest higher also allows us to get closer to the tool rest closer to the wood, because it's higher up and it's further up the curve of the wood, if you will. So you can see the tool rest is well above center. And again, this might be an appropriate height if we're taking a planing cut with a skew. But we're going to lower that tool rest to something closer to center when we start making a V-cut. Having it lower, you can see, allows for a much more relaxed arm with relaxed lowered shoulders as you start the cut up high and then arc it in, as opposed to if you had to start up high and keep going over, you'd start straining your shoulder. While I'm at it, some people wonder how high the lathe height ought to be, and a general rule of thumb is it would be appropriate for the cutting center to be right about where your elbow is. Now, again, some of this is based on personal taste and your style and what type of items you're turning. If you're doing spindles, you might have it a little bit lower. If you're doing mostly hollow forms, it might be a little bit larger, but on average I would say this is probably a pretty reasonable position for it to be in. Now there's some tolerance on whether you're cutting exactly on center, depending on what you're doing and what tool you're using, but let me give you one area where it is absolutely critical, and that's using a hollowing when you're doing hollowing. Now I'm going to use Lyle Jamieson's hollowing rig as an example, but it wouldn't make any difference whether you're doing this freehand or whether you're using an articulating type of type of hollowing rig, you want that cutter, not the center of the bar, but where the cutter is, exactly on center. Tip of the cutter. Now here's an example where, as I'm showing it, it's a little bit high. So we're going to lower the tool rest just a little bit to get it to that appropriate height. And then that looks just about right. Let me back off and show you that particular tool rest. This is a tool rest from Lyle Jameson where you can literally dial it in. It's just it's very handy if you're doing hollow forms. You don't need that kind of precision, and frankly I wouldn't want to be messing with that nut, spinning it up and down for routine wood turning. I'd rather just loosen the banjo, the tool rest lock, and adjust the tool rest. But for this, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to just dial it in. As far as I know, Lyle Jameson's the only one that sells these. As always, I welcome your comments. Leave them in the comment area below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you got this far, I'm assuming you liked it. I've got another video, I'll have a link here, that gets into a little more detail on tool rests in particular, in terms of the style and the options and some of your different choices. Y'all stay safe. Come on back here.